The 180 wildies you've saved work together to rebuild the games booth. Now you can play Tilt and Roll Kirby. The bomb ability can now be evolved. The cutter ability can now be evolved. The ice ability can now be evolved. The needle ability can now be evolved. Pay a visit to Waddle Dee's weapons shop. Welcome back to more Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Last time, we entered the original Wasteland, so this time we're starting out in Waddle Dee Town because we did unlock the final major building in town. We're not going to go over it right away, but I did want to highlight that for saving 180 Waddle Dees, we have unlocked a new minigame, which we'll be trying out a little bit later. For now, I want to head into the weapons shop. Wow, you have so many new blueprints to give me. Alright, let me get my tools ready, then we'll get this evolution started. Thanks for waiting. The cutter ability can now be evolved into Buzzsaw Cutter. Thanks for waiting. The bomb ability can now be evolved into Homing Bomb. Thanks for waiting. The needle ability can now be evolved into Crystal Needle. Thanks for waiting. The ice ability can now be evolved into Frosty Ice. So we have a lot of options to choose from. I'm not going to upgrade all of these at once because that would definitely take a while, but I do want to prioritize one ability over here. Would you like to evolve the Crash ability into Time Crash? The Crash ability has evolved into Time Crash. This evolution will allow you to enter the portal for the Time Crash treasure in Winterhorns. Go try it out! So Crash has been a staple of the series for a long time, and this new variation is actually really cool. Basically the way it works is, you will unleash a huge blast that doesn't deal damage but instead freezes time. Every time you run into an enemy, you will deal damage, and if you run into a new enemy, it will actually recharge the field, extending the length that you can slow down time. So it's actually really helpful for something coming up later on, in a few stages. Alright, so let's hit the road again. And let's head over to our next stage. The Arrival Mall, Staff Side. So we've stumbled upon another mall. So the first Arrival Mall was in World 1, so it has actually been a while, but it is interesting having a sort of return to this aesthetic for another stage. But this stage is actually very different. I actually find it kind of impressive having another mall stage that still feels very distinct from the previous one. Obviously, being in the desert now, we have a lot of sand everywhere, and we have a whole new set of challenges and environments to go through. To tell the truth, I don't entirely remember where all of the missions are in the stage. I'm going to do my best to find them all. I hope this is not a repeat of our first mall trek, where I had to go through it again because I forgot a donut. This time I'm hoping I actually remember, or I can at least stumble upon where all of the necessary items are. I might actually be a little bit more thorough than usual because I'm not distinctly remembering where everything is. This should be something. Taste test 3 kinds of ice cream. So instead of donuts, we have ice cream to worry about. We also have this little ice cream display here that will actually allow us to turn into a cone to easily get through these enemy encounters. We also have a hole in the wall in a very peculiar shape that conveniently matches our current form. So we can fit into the hole in the wall in order to break it, actually, and make our way to another part of the mall. So that's kind of the gimmick of this stage, basically finding the mouth mode transformation to allow us to get into a new area. Right now we have a circular hole in the wall, so we have to look for something that'll make us circular, basically. It's a very interesting stage. Very unique from the previous Arrival Mall. I feel like when I first saw like a level list and I saw something about a second Arrival Mall, I was a little bit concerned that it'd be a little bit samey, but I'm really happy that it is still a very different stage. We found a ring, but I actually want to see what's over here first, just to be on the safe side. I think this is the way forward, so no worries. We actually want to go out of our way for the different Malfa mode transformations, not only for collectibles, but also for a mission. This is another case where the missions are actually a little bit redundant if you're actually getting all the collectibles anyway, because assuming you're not doing things in separate runs, you will probably naturally end up finding a mission just by going for all of the collectibles. So we can break this wall to find our first Wildly of the stage, hopefully, first of 5. A lot of times I feel a little bit nervous seeing which icon lights up, because if a different icon lights up, then I missed one, and in some stages there's the whole problem of I don't know which one I've missed. So again, it's good to be a little bit careful to thoroughly comb each stage to avoid missing things and having to go through it again. In general, I feel like most of the collectibles aren't actually that bad in this game. Maybe it's because I've played a lot of Kirby games, so I kind of have an understanding of where they tend to hide things in these in this series. But in general, I do feel like this game can be a little bit tricky. So now we found our vending machine for a different hole in the wall. I think I took damage from one of the falling cardboard boxes, weirdly enough. Alright, so we have another capsule, and a teleporter, since there's no other way back up here. The way forward is actually to the right, but we do want to search for secrets, and thus we need to break this wall. This will force us out of mouthful mode, by the way. We use up the transformation to break the wall, so I guess if there's anything you needed to break with it, you would want to do that first, like metal blocks and things like that. We also have a lot of enemies spawning in as soon as we arrive with the transformation to make it a little bit tougher to get through. So here's our next entrance. This should take us to another darker area. I like how the darker areas have ghosts in them, which makes a lot of sense, but it's a cool little detail to have the ghosts in sort of like a two-sided stage in a way. It's actually really clever. So this is kind of counterintuitive because I really like Meta Knight's sword, but we actually don't want it. Actually, I do want it, but we don't want to use it to get a mission. Instead, we actually want Cutter before we head into the store. We have a mini-boss fight with Wild Bonkers surrounded by Gordos, and there is a mission for using Cutter, and I'm not the biggest fan of this, to be honest. I like Cutter as an ability, it's just Meta Knight's sword is really good in this game, so having to drop it to get a mission is kind of not my favorite thing in the world. That's kind of a recurring thing in this game, actually, needing specific abilities for boss fights, for missions, and then it kind of makes things a little bit tougher to get other missions, oddly enough. But there we go, defeat Wild Bonkers with the Cutter ability. Now we can swap over to Hammer. We can use these posts to open up that gate over there, and also we should save the Waddle Dee. Like before, like our previous mall trip, I'm a little concerned about where all of the ice cream is. I'm hoping this isn't another donut situation. You got the Wild Hammer blueprint. Now you can evolve the hammer ability, take it to Wild D's weapons shop. I actually forgot that this was unlocked really soon, otherwise they probably would have saved their trip for to the weapons shop for after this stage. So that is an evolution of our current hammer, but I actually like the toy hammer a lot. The next hammer isn't bad, but it's also not my favorite, but we might actually want it for something coming up later. I actually might make another trip back to turn that in and upgrade that, because it will make our lives easier for something else. It is a little bit unfortunate having to do all the back and forth to town occasionally to unlock everything. There's a very conspicuously shaped clock on the wall, so let's head over here and see if we can figure out what to do with that. We have a post on the wall, we can hammer that in to do something. Alright, so we have our ring. I do like how the actual rings have different properties. They're not just like the same model every time, if that makes sense. Like a lot of times, even when you have different transformations like the cars or the cones, they actually look different. You can see some small differences between the actual items, which is a nice little detail that they didn't really need to include, to have like separate car models when using different mouthful mode transformations. Again, there's a lot of cool details in this game. It's really impressive, actually. So this is unfortunate. We have a hole, but it's actually on the ground instead of in the wall, so we actually can't really do anything with that immediately. Instead, we have to actually head over here to break this wall using the ring mouth, and now we can find water. This will actually let us break the other hole, so this is kind of easier said than done, trying to platform with this particular mouthful mode transformation, but we have to carefully make our way over here and fall into the hole. And we have a little break room with snacks galore. And our final, I think, our final wildie of the stage. Yep, there we go. All that's left is the last ice cream. To tell the truth, I hope it's where I think it is. I think I know where it is, but I'm not, like, 100% confident. So here's hoping I am remembering correctly. Otherwise, this will be very awkward. I think it's in one of these boxes, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there it is. Taste test 3 kinds of ice cream. We still have one more mission, but luckily, we should be able to get it once we break this. Fit through all holes using mouthful mode. So yeah, we managed to get all of the objectives in one run. Again, this is one that you will probably end up getting all the objectives just by going for the hidden wildies, unless you happen to find the different wildies through the mouthful mode transformations on separate runs, in which case you would not get the last one. But yeah, overall this isn't too bad. Switch? Chakram Cutter. You can dual-wield cutters? Whoa, sling both chakrams forward to slash a wide area in front of you. It's fun to watch them fly, as long as you're doing the throwing. Bufferhorn. Behold, it's the brutal, brutish Bufferhorn. Weak attacks won't stand a chance against this critter's forward tackle. Good thing they have a hard time stopping. If you're careful, you can trick them into running off cliffs. They'll be okay down there. They're real tough. Lightbulb Mouth Kirby. Kirby gained the mysterious mouthful mode ability after he flew through that vortex. Now he can stuff an entire light bulb into his mouth. Illuminate your surroundings with the glow from your gullet. It's hard to move when you lit up, so study your surroundings, go dark again, and wobble onward, carefully. And our next stage is the Moonlight Canyon. I remember this one being pretty fun, but also kind of annoying to actually complete. One thing I actually didn't talk about before now is there's actually a lot of like coral around, implying that this used to be an ocean. Also, lending credence to this is the cargo ships in the first stage. But it's kind of a neat little detail to have like a dried up ocean as a desert stage. You got the twin drill blueprint. Now you can evolve the drill ability. Take it to Waddle Dee's weapons shop. It kind of reminds me of one area from Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, actually. Remove 3 wanted posters. And this is kind of an interesting stage. We have a dark cavern, so we need the light bulb mouth to make our way through. We have the little light switches, like before, that we have to illuminate to open up new pathways for us. We don't have to worry about Ghost Gordos this time, so that's actually really nice. We can take damage if we have to, like use invincibility frames to get through something a little bit more easily. I like how the tutorials work in this game. I don't know if I've actually talked about this already. I think I have. But having the little videos popping up in the lower right-hand side is actually really nice. It's a very effective way to convey information without like stopping your the flow of your gameplay. Just a little quick prompt being like, hey, you can do this. Very out of the way and unintrusive, and I wish more tutorials in games were like this, actually. It's kind of strange, because Kirby, I feel like, almost has a perception of being one of the more kid-friendly series, but almost does a better job of lower-key tutorials than more serious Nintendo franchises. There's our first Waddle Dee, so now we have to carefully make our way over here again. Again, you move slower when actually lighting things up, so it's better to kind of toggle it. I find the best strategy is like jump and then toggle it really quickly. I don't know if this is like the best method, but it works really well for me. We can either float over there where the 2 pillars that collapsed were, or we can actually head over here to light up this switch. This will also reveal a pathway and our next Waddle Dee. This is definitely a Waddle Dee that feels like a progress check, just to show that you might have missed that first one, because this one is really obvious. What isn't obvious is our second wanted poster, which is right there. That is honestly really jerkish to put it off the path like that, but we found it. And now we have very adventurous music. Honestly, probably one of the standout songs so far. This is honestly not a bad song. I mean, Kirby usually has really good music, let's be honest, but this definitely kind of stands out. So we have this big cliffside area here. There's our next wanted poster. This should be number 3. I actually do want to drop down though, because I feel like they might have hidden something down here. This is actually a stage I remember fairly well, but not 100%. So yeah, there is a Waddle Dee there, so even when going for the wanted poster, you want to double back for the Waddle Dee. Lots of cannons. There's a piece of bread on this platform for some reason, and we have another little scissor lift puzzle. So let's head over here, hit the switch, quickly duck down, and then head through the door. And we have a very stressful challenge. As a reminder, you can press minus to instantly drop a power-up. You don't have to wait. You don't have to hold like A or Y to drop it, which is good to keep in mind, because we have to kind of be in a hurry here. Otherwise, the ground will fall out from under us. We also have a sort of superstar-like section where we have a ton of sleep power-ups that we have to carefully dodge for the next Waddle Dee. If you make it through without falling, that's actually a mission that should pop up pretty soon. So yeah, we got through the secret room without falling. Overall, that's not too scary, but it's a little intimidating, I find. Specifically the part with all the sleep powers at the very end. That's a little scary trying to jump through all that nonsense. I should have gotten the coins first. Oh well, not that we're running out of coins by any means. We also have a little secret sparkly spot there for a capsule. This is actually a secret I found on my own just because I thought that looked really conspicuous that that platform was still there. Alright, so I think we have almost everything, right? Yeah, I think we're only missing one secret and one Wildy. And we have another arch. So like before, you can press L or R or any of the shoulder buttons to guard. What am I trying to say? Instead of guarding, that will basically switch you over to inverted controls. That's what I was trying to say. Again, I'm actually fine with non-inverted controls, so I'll leave it as is, but it's nice to have the option. So we have to keep an eye out for secrets. We have all these rings kind of leading us in the general direction that we want to go in. Dodging all the falling pillars, getting as many star coins as we can. Oh, this is kind of cutting it a little bit close there. Not too bad though. With this falling debris, you want to go through the right side for another red ring and our final Wildy of the stage. But we're not done yet. We still have one secret objective to actually get. By the way, there's a capsule down here, and up here, there's the goal. But if we go behind it, you might notice the camera will actually move. If you stand here, there's a little sparkly spot that will reveal a treasure hiding by cactus triplets for our final secret mission. First try, not bad, especially considering I definitely got tripped up by the cacti in my first playthrough. Ranger, time for some shooting star sharpshooting. Pew pew, hold the button down to charge and aim, then let go to send a sparkling shot flying. Charge it up for bigger blasts. Wild Edge, the mysterious vortex brought Gigant Edge to the New World 2. They arrived before Kirby and fell in with the ranks of the Beast Pack. Despite the wild wardrobe change, they really stand out among the rest of the pack, but they'll still guard their stations with ferocity. Crash. Danger, danger! This ability makes the biggest boom of all, and you can hold the button down to make it even biggester. Nothing will escape that blast. Whoosh! Tortorner. Tortorner has a whole shell made of concrete, as if it walked off with somebody's sidewalk. It has a thick skull and a mean bite, but its body is pretty delicate. A mouthful mode ability might help you crack through its shell and land a brutal blow from above. The Wildies helped you open the gate that was blocking your way, head into the stage, and challenge the boss that's guarding this territory. The blueprint we just got will be very helpful for this next boss. So let's head over to town again. The drill ability can now be evolved. The hammer ability can now be evolved. Pay a visit to Wild D's weapons shop. Alright, let's head over. Wow, you have so many new blueprints to give me. Alright, let me get my tools ready. Then we'll get this evolution started. Thanks for waiting. The hammer ability can now be evolved into Wild Hammer. Thanks for waiting. The drill ability can now be evolved into Twin Drill. So let's go upgrade Hammer. Would you like to evolve the hammer ability into Wild Hammer? The hammer ability has evolved into Wild Hammer. Alright, so we're set for the next mission. By the way, Wild Hammer is exceedingly strong, but very slow. So I'm not really a huge fan of it. I actually do like the Toy Hammer a little bit better because of its faster attack speed, but I think this will be good for our next mission. Alright, let's head over to the world map. Actually, first of all, Elflin got captured by King Dedede. That sounds odd, even for him. I hope they're both okay. We can't just stand around. Let's go save Elflin. Alright, let's head over to the next stage. And next time, we'll challenge the boss of the original Wasteland. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Kirby and the Forgotten Land.